Greetings, Gorehounds, and welcome back to Blood Splattered Vlogs. Now, I know I'm late to the game on this one, but as they say, it's better late than never. So without further ado, here are my spoiler-free thoughts on Grave Encounters 2. Grave Encounters 2 is the sequel to the 2011 cult hit Grave Encounters, which featured a group of phony television ghost hunters receiving their just desserts when they enter an asylum positively dripping with actual paranormal activity. Now, in order to accurately express my thoughts on this sequel, then I must first briefly touch on the original. The first Grave Encounters was a highly imaginative horror film that took the found footage formula of past hits and cranked it up to 11. I thoroughly enjoyed it, though it had many problems that kept it from being truly great, such as its over-reliance on incredibly obvious digital effects, which unfortunately took away from the gritty realism found footage normally brings. The acting also left a lot to be desired, with every character freaking out as if the worst thing in the world had just occurred, even if it was just something as small as a door moving ever so slightly. Now that might sound like a weird criticism, but let me explain. When your characters start off immediately freaking out over every little thing, then that leaves nowhere else for them to go as the situation escalates, which means very little character progression and tension that stagnates as opposed to rises. And this brings me to Grave Encounters 2, which suffers from pretty much the same exact problems. But, much like the original, it makes up for its flaws by bringing some really original ideas to the table. The film follows a horror-filmed video vlogger as he searches for the truth behind a horror film aptly titled Grave Encounters, which depicts the grisly events of the first film. That's right, my fellow Gorehounds, Grave Encounters 2 is a meta-sequel, flipping the found footage concept on its head by literally making the first film found footage. It's a super clever premise, and I got to give the Vicious brothers, who wrote both films though only directed the first, a lot of credit for going the full Monty here. Now, with that praise being said, I must stress that Grave Encounters 2, much like its predecessor, is not a perfect film. It's very flawed, and for some, those flaws might be a deal breaker. But I still enjoyed it, and would absolutely recommend it to any found footage fans looking for another film to wet their figurative whistle. Grave Encounters 2 is currently available on Amazon Instant Watch, and should be available on DVD by March of next year. So if anything I've said here has intrigued you, then definitely check it out. Though I warn you, you should probably see the first one first, because if you don't, you'll probably be a little lost. Oh, and one more thing. The last few weeks I've been working on a new show entitled Friday Night Fright Flicks with the one, the only Count Jacula, where we collectively review recent theatrical releases such as The Apparition, The Possession, and Resident Evil Retribution. We also provide some funny skits before and after the reviews, so if you're looking for some new review-related entertainment, then definitely head to the web address below and become a full-fledged Fright Night. And with that, I bid you adieu.